This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow Manchild, Johnny Karlic. Ain't that right there, gibberish cat? And we are reviewing yet another movie for you guys. We cried, had our emotional, almost 2-hour review last week of Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
We needed something a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah,
this week.
Something to cleanse the palate.
Yeah, something to just change it up a little bit. Something that was going to be completely
something that
different
does make our heart hurt.
Yeah, that was just kind of like a fun ride. So we saw UglyDolls this week, and we're going to quickly review it. I don't think this is going to be no 2-hour review.
That would be odd.
If we had a review longer than the actual movie, that would have been something. Like, Endgame came close.
Endgame came close to the length of the movie.
Yeah, but if we would have put, like I said, the actual topic.
What was
our
first topic of an actual podcast?
It would have been a 2-hour and 45-minute review.
It would have been almost as long as the movie.
Would have been nearly 15 minutes. I would have just put 15 minutes of filler in there.
Yeah.
Just to make
obviously,
it 3
we would
hours.
just expand it on shit we already talked about.
Just to expand it. But we are reviewing UglyDolls. If you're new to a Rick and Johnny movie review, how we do is we kind of stay in a non-spoiler mode to start. Then we go into a spoiler mode, kind of talk about things where we open it up to, hey, we don't care if we spoil the movie at that point. Then at the end, we give a show stealer who's the MVP of the movie, who stole the show, and then we give our rating. This one will probably be out of
UglyDolls.
5 UglyDolls. So we will give a rating 1 through 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the absolute best. If you've also seen the movie, let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. But before we get into everything, make sure to check us out on patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. That's where you can help support us. Make sure that we can keep doing these podcasts for you guys each and every week, each and every day. And the big goal for 2019 is to get us a new studio. We're in a 12 by 10 by 12 is what we
something like that
decided. And that was the argument on the fast break.
I didn't take a measure. I don't have a tape measure with me right now.
And I think we used Mark's feet because the thing that we argued on the fast break is if we would have used your feet, that might have been not a standard foot.
Actually, just because I think last time I measured my actual shoe, it was like actually a foot.
Okay. I know with Mark,
shoe
it was
sizes
about
are
10 steps, 12 steps.
He's a actual size 12.
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know what
Well,
size
then,
Mark is. I am betting he is a little smaller than a 12.
Well, then he's not.
So I'm gonna just
Then
say
why is his right?
I'm just saying 10 by 12.
I'll just bring it to. Do you remind me next week? I'm bringing a tape measure. We will actually get the
point
measurements.
is we are in a small box is basically where we record, and it's not even our studio. We borrow this studio. We have the gracious of Pete, who's been on our WWE podcast, let us use his studio. And we want a studio of our own so we have more freedom and have more space to do better things for you guys. So patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast, bronze, silver, or gold tier can help us out. Everything we raise in 2019 goes towards that new studio for MVP. But Johnny, let's get into the actual review of UglyDolls. First thing I'll ask you is what I ask you every single movie review. What was your general thought of this movie?
I thought it was a pretty good movie, actually, for obviously a children's movie.
A different grading scale than like Avengers Endgame.
Oh God, very
like
different grading
Pet
scale.
Cemetery, because it's one of those like children. Like this is what the third animated movie we've seen this year, with How to Train Your Dragon being one, Wonder Park being another,
fourth,
and
then.
now UglyDolls.
Because you Missing Link.
Missing Link, I forgot about that one.
So the fourth one,
animated movie that we've seen this year.
Yeah, I mean it was a really good movie. Surprisingly big cast. Like, I mean, and I don't mean like, oh wow, they had a lot of people. No, it's like a big name casting with like Gabriel Iglesias, Wanda Sykes, Kelly Clarkson, and Blake Shelton, just to name a few.
Well, and not even that, like, and this is going to be something we kind of expand on in spoiler mode. But like, not even that, but like, even today, as we were looking at the IMDb, like Emma Roberts, she's not as big as like Kelly Clarkson, but you know her from We Are the Millers, the comedy with, what's his name? SNL. He was in Horrible Bosses. Sudeikis. Sudeikis was the lead in that one. I think it's Jason.
Jennifer Aniston was in there too.
I forgot Jennifer Aniston was in that one also. And then Jane Lynch was also in this movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, holy shit. Like, even as a secondary role, and I mean, that's going to be something that I bring up in spoiler mode. The thing that I liked most about this movie was the thing that I feel like it pitched, but I can't remember if it pitched it a lot in the trailer.
No.
I know it pitched it a lot like...
I'm guessing I know what you're talking about, but I just said no anyways.
Go ahead, take a guess.
The music.
The music.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I don't think they really had much of any of the music in the
if
trailers.
I showed you the trailer, you would have thought it was just a regular animated movie. However,
Yeah.
they did, like, in their marketing, they did say, like, oh, the movie musical event of the year. And of course, they had a little music in the trailer, but they did a great job. Like, it was a hard thing to do because you didn't want to give away the songs.
Yeah.
But also you wanted it to feel like, hey, this is going to be a musical event. I feel like in the trailer leading up to this, they really banked on, hey, if we're going to have Pitbull, Kelly Clarkson, Blake Shelton, we're going to have all these names that we're
True,
telling
it's
you
a
about,
lot of musicians.
You're assuming it's going to be a musical
See, my
performance.
thought is if you're maybe to do a just the first song from the movie, then just a little
guess.
snippet of the first song.
Yeah.
Would have given it to you. Hey, this is the musical, guys.
Kind of like how the Lego movie had...
Everything is awesome.
Did they have that in the trailer? I think they did.
In the first one, yeah, I believe they did a little bit.
That's right. I think they did because that's how it freaking caught on. Like,
Yeah,
that
well, because
thing
they
was
had
a
the
movement.
second one come out that made some other really catchy
Yeah.
song. I think it's actually called "This Is a Catchy Song" or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
it is.
And
You're
I'm
right.
like, okay, you got my attention only because I can't get this out of my freaking head.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing with this, I will say, is this movie is built for, like, obviously, if you have kids,
Take
or
'em
you
to
have
see it.
kids that, well, I mean, I'm gonna say it's not for. It might be for every kid, but the kid it's really gonna be for is if your kid loves music, take them to see this, or if your kid just likes flashy colors, because the UglyDolls are all vibrant colors.
Yeah, that's true.
Until a part in the movie that will maybe spoil in spoiler mode. But I mean,
No, I'm probably spoiling spoiler
it's
mode.
overall a good musical ride. If you have a kid, take your kid. This could be even like, I even thought during the movie, like, this could have been a fun date movie.
Yeah, I think so.
If you and your girlfriend, boyfriend are into that stuff, because it kind of plays out like a musical in its form. But any other things you think, because this is obviously not a ton to keep out of non-spoiler, but
No,
the
I
thing I
mean-
really want to get into is going to have spoilers in it. So is there anything that you want to mention in non-spoiler mode before we segue right into
To me,
spoiler
this is
mode?
probably for like if you want to take your kids between 3 and 12. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably a good range unless they're older and they like this kind of stuff. Then yeah, take them to go see it. Again, agree with you as well. It's also a good date movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say it's a good date movie one if your significant other is into it.
I mean, yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like,
It's a
if
cute
you're-
movie to go see.
because like there are the general is like guys like you and I, like,
Yeah.
hey, we would go see this, but there are also like adults that are like, no way, I'm taking going on a date to see this movie.
Exactly.
But what we are going to do is segue into spoiler mode. So for UglyDolls, if you care about spoilers, because this is another movie where it's like, spoil it, I don't care. But if you do care, pause it. We'll be here. You can go see the movie, come back. We'll be here waiting for you. So we are going to jump into spoiler mode now. And the thing I want to start with,
Yes.
and the reason why I didn't say the entire cast, because there are some that I wanted it to be like, oh, wow, that's a freaking surprise. But the thing that I was thinking, and this thought came up before we started the podcast today, because I saw an article basically that The Intruder, UglyDolls, and what's the other movie? Oh, The Long Shot, which is a Seth Rogen comedy, all got affected by Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
Second weekend, where for UglyDolls is right now as we are recording this on Sunday morning, they have only made $8.5 million. This movie, the budget for this movie, according to Wikipedia, $45 to $53 million. The interesting thing we'll see is what happens on the second weekend for this. I almost feel like this is something that I'm thinking in my head. Was this, it's either one of three things, and it could be multiple of these. Number one, is it just we're blaming Avengers Endgame? We shouldn't have come out the weekend after Endgame because this was going to be such a big movie that, of course, second weekend was going to eat into our screen time. That's number one. However, the kind of like the 1A of that is, yes, you and I saw Avengers Endgame. Yes, we also saw UglyDolls. But how much of the Avengers audience is going to come over and see UglyDolls?
Exactly.
Because they don't overlap
Not a
too
lot.
much. So that's 1A. Number two, the cast. This is a cast that had some big names, even in some non-big roles. It had Pitbull, Ice-T in, I'm going to say Ice-T in
Fairly small role.
a very small role. He
Yeah.
had,
Literally.
Yeah, literally. As he was Peggy, the Pegasus horse. But I mean,
well, yeah, Jane
He didn't-
Lynch is a scanner.
exactly. Like Jane Lynch is a scanner. Emma Roberts, Gabriel Iglesias, Wanda Sykes.
Honestly,
Blake
Blake
Shelton.
Shelton wasn't even that big of a role in the most of it because he wasn't in a lot of it.
Yeah.
He was in maybe, 20 minutes of the movie tops?
Guess who was the explosion robot?
Who?
Rob Riggle. You're telling me he didn't get a good paycheck from this movie just for being...
Why can't I think of who Ron...
Rob Riggle is, Pa!
Oh, yeah.
Pa!
What?
In,
Jesus, really?
In, Step Brothers.
Yeah.
The Catalina wine mixer. Pa! That's Rob Riggle.
Yeah, wow. You guys spent a lot of money on this.
And I get it. Even on the three
Damn.
girl perfection dolls
Yeah.
of, what are they? They Tuesday, Kitty, and Lydia.
Yeah.
I think were their names. Or was it Mandy? One of the two. But
Mandy was the one that was helpful.
yeah. So you had, for example, BB Rexa, who right now is a very popular songwriter and singer in America. Charlie XCX, which the same thing, popular singer as of right now. And then you also had Mandy, who is Janelle Monáe, who yet again is a very popular recording artist, to where I almost feel like that's the one I'm leaning on is you spent way too much money on this cast.
Yeah.
But also another thing that I'm going to throw in there is, and this could be affected by number two, is it not doing well because of how this movie was marketed? Yes, we saw trailers well in advance for this movie. We saw this trailer, I want to say, Pet Sematary? Was that the first one we saw it for?
That or the movie before, whichever movie was right before that.
Let me see. So, Dumbo. Wonder Parker Dumbo.
Yeah, it was one of those two.
Because it was Dumbo. I remember because in Dumbo I said, oh, we can now see that after Endgame and we can laugh after we cry.
Yeah.
So it was Dumbo, which we saw this trailer. So that was end of March.
Yeah.
That we've seen this. But it's just, for me, I wonder, because the trailers that we saw weren't very different. I wonder is it Endgame that spoiled this? Was it the cast being way too much money? Or was it that because they spent too much on the cast, the marketing just wasn't what they should have had for this movie?
I think it was all three, to be honest. All three of them play into it. Because, Endgame kind of hit hard. Because, first weekend you and I saw Endgame, almost every theater that we went to was filled with just Endgame.
Well, even the theater
and
we
I
went
was saying,
to this Friday.
And that's what I was going to bring up next. It was still hey, we're walking down the aisle.
Sorry, I beat you to your point.
Yeah, no, we were walking down the aisle, the hallway to get to our theater and go, Endgame, Endgame, Endgame. And hell, I walked out and we don't do this. I've actually never done this in my life. We walked up and I'm like, Endgame starts at 11, dude.
Yeah.
You want to go see Endgame?
Yeah, we've done that for Delta Fars. I've brought
You
that up
did.
numerous times.
I've actually never done it.
When I say we, I meant Dave and I.
Well, no, because my theater that I would go to as a kid, Chicago Ridge isn't really set up to be able to do that.
Yeah, for us, the theater that we went to, this was back in like the early 2000s, where basically it wasn't assigned seating at that time.
No, same here, but
Where now with the assigned seating, it's like, fuck, if this thing's gonna fill out, they're gonna have the seat on their ticket.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's harder to do that now, but like with a movie like Ugly Dolls, you could do that for Ugly Dolls.
No, but I was saying like for ours, my theater when as a kid, like concession stand was right in the middle. You had 3 theaters here, 3 theaters there. It's like, well, what if I want to see a movie from that side? Well, I'm kind of screwed now because I don't want to see any of these two.
Exactly.
So it's like I never did because it was never set up for that.
And just to throw it out, so for this weekend alone, based on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, our estimates. Let's see. I'll just do Friday and Saturday because we're Sunday, and Sunday is going to totally be an estimate. So you've got Endgame right now, which is, let's see, I'm at boxofficemojo.com. They have Avengers Endgame at number 1 at, it made $40.6 million on Friday, 61.4 on Saturday. Then you had The Intruder. That was the one with what's his name? Dennis Quaid. Made $3.9 million on Friday, 4.2 million on Saturday. Long Shot, that's the Seth Rogen one, made 3.6 million on Friday, 3.7 million on Saturday, and then Ugly Dolls at 4th, 2.5 the day we saw it on Friday, 3.6 million the day we saw it on Saturday. And then after that, it's just Captain Marvel was 5th, which surprises me because that's been out for months. But then like Breakthrough, The Curse of La Llorona, Shazam, Little, and then Dumbo rounded out the top 10 for box office as of right now as we record on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. So really Ugly Dolls out of the new releases, it came in 4th. And right now, and this is worldwide, like Avengers Endgame is estimated at like a 43.7 for today.
Yeah.
Whereas Ugly Dolls, it's looking like they're projected to make a 2.3 million today. So I mean, I get it, it's a Sunday. Like Saturday is going to be the main day. Friday and Saturday should be the
your
main
day.
days.
Yeah.
But like even Endgame did better on Saturday. Most of the movies did better on Saturday because just more people have free time throughout the day.
Yeah, exactly.
To go to the movie.
But I mean,
like, I feel like they spent way too much on this. It was a great cast.
It was.
But for the movie that you had, you spent way too much on it.
Well, I'm asking, like, my thoughts were, like, did you need Jane Lynch? Did you need Ice-T?
Rob Riggle.
Did you need those 3? Not that saying, like, honestly, yeah, I'm not trying to sound rude about that, but it's like, did you need to hire them for such small roles? What? Jane Lynch had maybe 3 lines in the whole movie?
She was a scanner robot.
She was a scanner robot, which was shown twice.
Yep.
And then she was the electronic female voice, which was probably the one that
The
scanned.
announcer, yeah.
Scanned and like tell my family I love them.
Yeah.
Before malfunctioning. That was like 3 sets of lines. That's it.
Or was that the announcer voice like for the Gauntlet? Like the
I don't remember. Okay,
announcing
maybe
voice.
Oh, maybe 5.
I would have to see Ugly Dolls again to really
but it's like
pay
what,
attention
5
to that.
lines then? 5 appearances.
But like, I'll even throw this out there.
Yeah.
And this might be a little bit more controversial. And when I say this, like when we say like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have casted this person for this role, I get we're not trying to say, hey, I want to take the money out of this person's pocket. Like, I'm not mad at Rob Riggle, Jane Lynch, Ice-T for taking this role. Get a fucking payday, especially an easy payday.
Exactly.
If you can do that.
But it's like to save the movie money.
That's what I'm saying.
The
like,
producer should have thought better.
I'm just explaining it to the masses.
And I'm kind of
we're
trying to help you
we're not trying to bash that.
We're not trying to bash them. We're more so saying, hey, the producers and whoever should have thought hey, maybe
Yeah.
we should save our money on these things by doing this.
I'm going to throw this one out, though, and this one might be a little bit more controversial than those three.
Yeah.
Did you need Gabriel Iglesias in this movie? Because even after
Wanda
the
Sykes.
movie... Well, Wanda I will bat for, because
Will
Wanda
you?
was good in this movie.
That's
like, at
true.
least, I knew it was Wanda Sykes.
That's true.
And she was really fucking good in this movie. Like, she would probably be third on my show Steelers.
Oh, really? Wow.
Like, her character, she was classic Wanda Sykes.
That's
like,
true.
For example, the part when everything is all gloom, that was a spoiler I thought we may or may not spoil. There it is.
Yep.
When they're all gloomy, where it's like, oh, we're rejects and we're ugly dolls. When everyone's like talking about the plan and this, and she's like, oh no, you ain't whipping me into that. I was never ever okay with that.
You ain't bringing me into this pity party.
Basically,
Yeah.
Like she was spot on.
She was
and that's the thing I'm getting at. And
Straight
I'm
up
glad
Wanda
you
Sykes.
brought her up.
Yeah, that's
is
true.
At least I knew it was her.
Yeah.
Like Gabriel Iglesias.
I didn't know.
We saw it in the trailer. It's like, oh, Gabriel Iglesias was Babbo? What? It didn't even sound like him. Even when I told Dave, who didn't see the movie, Dave's like, really? Because Fluffy has a unique voice to him.
Exactly.
It sounded like he wasn't trying to be Gabriel Iglesias. He was trying to be Babbo.
Yeah.
Which is
should have just been
that's
Gabriel.
That's an artistic decision, but I did not even recognize it was Fluffy until the credits.
Can we agree that you didn't need to pay Emma Roberts to be Wedgehead, though, then? But in one of those ones where...
I will say Emma Roberts, out of the ones that we've mentioned, probably, and yet again, don't have the exact breakdown, but based off of what she's been in, probably was not one of the highest. Was not one of the ones
highest, but tell me you didn't spend some money on that name.
I don't think... I'm going to say I don't think so, because the things that she's known for on her Wikipedia page, We Are the Millers, Aquamarine in 2006, The Art of Getting By, and Nerve. She's not one of, like, to me it was the bigger problem is getting a guy like Ice-T to play Peggy.
Yeah,
because Ice-T gonna get a paycheck even if he's coming in for a few lines.
I'm just
'Cause he's
overall
Ice
saying to
freaking
save
T.
money, though.
Yeah, I mean, you could have, but I don't think a role like that.
If we're cutting corners, Ricky, we may as well cut corners.
Yeah, I think the main three problems to me were, one, the Ice-T, Jane Lynch, Rob Riggle.
Yeah.
Because they were just way too lesser roles. And
for the name that you had.
And that's the thing the studio has to also take into mind, too. So I'm putting STX, which was STX Entertainment and STX Family, as the production company for this. I am putting all of the blame on them. Because they should have known, or the casting. Does it say who the casting was by on here? Let's see. No, it doesn't. But you should know that, hey, you know...
Yeah, no, casting by Ruth Lambert and Rob McGee.
Okay, so put the blame on them, because you should know coming in, and also the production company who's spending the money on this should know, like,
well,
hey,
the producer should have stepped in too then.
How much money are we gonna make on this, to where how much money can we spend? Because the thing is, and this is the beautiful thing about these movies, is I feel like looking at it, this is a movie that tried to hit it out of the park and didn't think about how much money they would be coming in. I would actually love to pick the producer's brain and actually ask them if, when they were coming out with this movie and making this movie, and once they had the date set, did they even think that Endgame would play into taking their profits
that would be a
away?
good question. Like, for whoever's in charge of that, that's the producers, or if there's like, hey, this department of like, oh god, I forgot what it's called. Where you're trying to...
Which is basically like just the production company, which is setting the date to release.
Well, not just that. Like when you're promoting it,
marketing.
Yeah. Like again, that's what also comes into it. It's like you didn't really, unless you paid really close attention to the trailers. How do you know it was a musical?
Yeah,
I didn't until we went into it. Until you told me, it's like, oh, by the way, this is a musical. I go, remember? I'm like, wait, what? Because I didn't think anything of the cast because I wasn't really paying attention that hard to the trailers
You know what's funny?
to know that.
According to Wikipedia, guess what's coming to Hulu sometime in the future?
Huh.
An Untitled Ugly Dolls animated series.
Interesting.
So you're gonna spend and here's the thing.
Man.
Bet you, based off of this, I bet you it's one of those series where it's like, Kelly Clarkson was the voice in the movie. Why isn't she the voice in the series? Oh, they're cutting corners. Like, remember those series when we were kids? Where
Yeah, it's like this doesn't sound like the person from the movie.
Yeah, this isn't the voice that I remember. Or like video game, for example. And Troy Barker's amazing, by the way. But it's like in one of the Batman games, it's like, oh, this is not Kevin Conroy, and I feel that this is not Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Also with the Joker, ooh, this is not Mark Hamill. Although Troy Barker's doing a great job, this is not Mark Hamill, and I know about it. Like, for that, I feel like we're gonna get lesser names. So Pitbull, Ice-T. Sorry, guys. We're gonna only pay for one person.
Yeah.
It might be Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, it's either that or it's like, hey, we'll pay. It's like either we'll pay for Kelly Clarkson or we'll pay for Pitbull, which had a decently sized role in it. It's like we'll get one big name, whoever we can get to kind of sound like you. We're gonna pay for that instead.
Basically,
it's like okay, whichever we'll pay for the one that we can't get to sound like you.
yeah. And the thing that I wanted to look at is I went to the TV and television one. For film, let's see, STX Entertainment Films. So STX has only been around since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at their movies, let's see, what's one that I actually, okay, they've had some ones where it's like, for example, Gringo is one of theirs. That's one that came out last year early on. Den of Thieves, which didn't do that well. That was the one with what's his name? He was in Geostorm. He was not Spartacus. Leonidas in Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
That was the Gerard Butler one where it's like, hey, oh God, guess what STX Entertainment did in 2017?
What?
Valerian.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, how much we love that movie, right? But basically looking at budget and gross, I'm just going to do this really quick. So their last few movies, so Ugly Dolls, 45 million budget, 2.5 gross. The Best of Enemies, even. 10 million to make, 10 million made. We broke even. The Upside actually did really good. They spent 37.5 to make it. It made $122 million. Second act, spent 16, made 72. Peppermint made double its money. The Happy Time Murders, which I would say is an adult version of trying to do Ugly Dolls, but in the real life. That was the one with
An adult Sesame Street.
Yeah, basically. What's her name? Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
That one they spent 40 to 47 million and only made 27.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a point. They didn't make 275 million. They made 27.5. Let's see really quick. Just a couple like Valerian. Valerian they made money, although it was a bad movie. But that was the hype just because of Valerian. Oh, they actually came out with also. Ooh, that was probably a good one for them too. Remember Hardcore Henry?
Yeah, I actually bought that one.
Guess how much that movie cost them to make budget?
How much? 2 million?
2 million. Guess how much they made? 16.8. Not a huge gross, but hey, when you only spent 2 million on the film,
I mean, to be fair, it was just a guy with like a.
Because it's all first person.
It's all first person. It's like just a guy with like a GoPro doing parkour. That was it.
Hardcore parkour, man.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, hardcore parkour. So like,
shit, man.
They've had some hits, but it's like, I wonder with Ugly Dolls, based off of how this went, what that's going to mean for the Hulu series. Because that is one where I feel the biggest problem of this movie had nothing to do with the actual movie. It just had to do with the cast. They paid way too much for the cast.
The movie was good. It's just
like I can't think, and yet again, I'm not in CGI. I'm not in animation. I don't think that the animation that was going into Ugly Dolls would have cost you $47 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's see. I'm gonna pull up Wonder Park, for example, because besides like Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Gardner, besides like them, maybe the cast of like Mina Kunis, like that had a good cast. Let's see, that one cost. All right, they spent more than Ugly Dolls. They spent 80 to 100 mil on Wonder Park, but when I'm thinking about it, their special effects were different than Ugly Parks.
Yeah, Ugly Dolls, Ugly
Dolls.
Parks.
But guess how much
Wonder Dolls.
But guess how much money Wonder Park made?
More.
$11.9 million. Like, it made more money. And I think that's the crux of this. Like, was this a good movie? Yeah, because, like, now actually talking about the movie, I know people are going to be like, guys, you're really harping on the cast and stuff. But I knew that was going to be a big discussion of this podcast. Yeah. The thing I loved most about this movie was the music. Like, the music was the best part. And I wish that it was
marketed better.
I wish it was marketed as a musical movie and actually made me like. They should have marketed it as a musical because that's what I felt it was.
And they should have, because I mean, you may have gotten even more people to come see it too. Like, oh hey, you don't see musicals that often come out. Like what was the last kids musical we had come out? Because Dumbo wasn't.
Yeah.
Unlike the usual Disney movies.
Yeah, I mean, the old Disney movies basically were musicals.
They were, so that's why it's like, okay, we haven't had one of those in a while. Probably bring your kids to go see it. It'd probably be like, hey, sort of. I'm overall just trying to say it probably would have brought a little bit more people in.
Let's see, musical kid movies. That's the power of Google, right? I can just type this into. I mean, I'm looking here, so. Trolls came out in 2016. That was probably the last one where it was like, hey, this has a song from Justin Timberlake. This is it. This one's got music. But like besides that, like Coco 2017, Moana in 2016,
Disney,
Frozen in 2013,
Disney.
Yeah, some of these are older. Like The Sound of Music, 1985. Yeah,
when did Beauty and the Beast come out?
The original Beauty and the Beast?
No, I'm talking about the one you and I saw.
Oh, that one was 2017. 2017. That was the first year we did reviews.
Yeah. I'm just saying, though, like, and I don't remember a lot of, like, other musicals since then, because you and I usually go try and see, like...
musical ones, because we're musical people.
Exactly.
Which I did find funny that, so, the movie starts... It's basically like after the little exposition of like, hey, this is how the Ugly Dolls are Ugly Dolls, right into the first song like Kelly Clarkson. And even you said out loud, and I heard you, you're like, wow, they're already going to hit us over the face with it. Nice. Like,
I was happy with it.
Like they got right into the music.
Like, oh shit, because a lot of them like build up.
That first song was kind of long. Not saying it's a bad thing, but like that was a long song.
Yeah.
So like... That's another thing, too.
That's a whole day.
I wonder if the songs were a little bit longer because it's like, hey, if we're paying these motherfuckers to be in this movie... We're going to have them sing. We're going to have them sing.
Yeah, we're going to pay you. You're going to sing.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, that's a good point with Blake Shelton because when they went off to Perfection Land, he wasn't there.
You had him for what, one song? Blake Shelton.
Did the only song he sang was in the beginning? No,
and then he sang the end song. He sang a little chunk of the end song.
Wow.
You paid him for a song and a half.
That seems like a very, very big oversight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the biggest crux of this movie. Like, otherwise, the story isn't great, but I didn't expect an in-depth story.
It's a children's... It's a children's movie, so I expected, like, a children's-style story.
The thing I did like with it, and yet again, I'm a mind of a man-child now, not a mind of an actual child. But the thing that I think of is, do you think kids are going to... Is the theme of this going to go over kids' heads, where the underlying theme is, hey... People might call you ugly. You might be different than everyone else. but it's okay.
Our imperfections are our perfections.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Because like at the end,
Depends on how old they are.
At the end, I did like it because as soon as she was like in the girl's room,
The little girl smiled. Same.
I was waiting. I
Teeth
was like,
missing.
okay, what's the imperfection with this girl? Because until that point, looks like she's got a nice home. Looks like she's got a nice room. All right, doesn't look like an ugly child. And then she showed the teeth were in the same 3 of them.
Basically,
as
like
ugly
the
doll.
insecurities are what.
Basically, yeah.
It's a coping mechanism. With her insecurities helps out with having an ugly doll.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was waiting for. And then she smiled, and I was like, there it is. That's the thing that's wrong.
Oh, I mean,
with
come
ya.
on. How many children, like at a certain age, are like kind of subconscious when they're losing the front teeth?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I deal with it a little bit more because I'm a teacher. There are some students that like will not smile because they don't like it.
Yeah.
But then there's the other students that are like, hey, look, I lost a tooth. And they'll like pull up their lip and try to show you. And it's like, all right, you lost a tooth. Like,
Congratulations.
Please don't come near me because I don't want to get sick. Basically, don't pull up your lip. Now go wash your hands because you've got your spit all over your hands. You know what bugs me? And this is, all right, this is my little PSA for if you're a parent out there or you're an uncle or an aunt or you know kids in general. Teach your kid or teach a kid today. That's your assignment for today. Teach a kid how to properly sneeze and cough into their arm.
Yes.
Because yesterday
Please.
I literally had it happen twice. One was a first grader sneezed all over the desk without covering. But I'm like, it's a first grader. I'll teach him how to like cover. Had an 8th grader turn to his right and just sneeze without even covering. I'm like, hey, can we cover our face on that one, champ? Thanks. But my PSA is over. Just popped into my head a little bit.
I agree with you on that.
You just got to teach them how to sneeze in their hands. But anything you think we need to bring up before we end this one?
I just want to reiterate because we hit a lot on like why it didn't succeed. I want to say
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie. It was a good cast.
Was it amazing? No. Was it above average? No. But it was good.
It was good, and it would be worth taking your kids to go see it, or a fun like little date night.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good movie.
But it's not a movie that's like, oh my God, I gotta go see Ugly Dolls.
Yeah, no, it's not Endgame.
Oh man, I gotta see this movie.
It's definitely not Endgame.
Let's move then into the last part of our review where we give our show stealer, which is our MVP of the movie, and then we give our rating. Johnny, I'm gonna go first with the show stealer.
Yeah.
Usually I don't do that because I'm still thinking. But this one's easy to me. It's Ugly Doll. Pitbull, baby.
Ugly Dog?
Mr. 305. Yeah, Mr. Ugly Dog.
I was going to say, because Ugly Doll, you're giving it to the whole movie?
Pitbull, like, if it's me and you were telling me, Ricky, you got to only pick 2 of these cast members to pick, it's the main character and Moxie. I'm keeping Kelly Clarkson as that voice. Hey, you got to give me Pitbull. Like, Pitbull as Ugly Dog, like, he had the suave, like, when he was like...
He was Pitbull.
Hey, mamacita, like...
He was Pitbull.
And then when she's like, later, and he's like... Oh, well, I don't know. That was my best line.
She must not have understood because that was my best line.
She must not have understood what I was saying in Spanish. But yeah, basically, he was Pitbull. And I mean, I know Pitbull is an acquired taste. I know, shout out to Mark's wife, who's a huge Pitbull fan. Maybe I should tell Mark that
Take her go see this?
him and his wife should go see this because she's a huge Pitbull fan. But yeah, he to me was like the comedy that he had and just the like suaveness of his character. He was perfect for what they wanted Ugly Dog to be, and that's why he's going to be my show stealer. What about you?
I'm giving my show stealer to Moxie. Yeah. Trope of...
who?
Moxie?
Who?
Kelly Clarkson?
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want the actress?
I want the actress. The only time we give it to a character is like Dumbo. Who
Yeah, I
didn't
know.
have,
Yeah. No, I'm giving it to Kelly Clarkson because, I mean, she just played the whole character as Moxie so well.
these hazel eyes, Johnny.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Anyways, no, she played out Moxie as a good character. I mean, I don't know how to explain without saying go see the movie.
She made me believe. She made me buy into the character of Moxie.
Exact. Thank you, because that was your secondary, wasn't it? You said.
Yeah, Kelly Clarkson, because like she was one where made me buy into Moxie. And
she made me buy into Moxie's Moxie.
Yeah, she was so perfect. Like her voice and her attitude was so perfect.
Fits so well with the character,
of Moxie. Like never give up.
The scene at the end where she like gave up on everything. What she thought was the trial. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going to lose the trial because I'm going to make this child, which was a robotic baby, feel better, which inevitably made them all pass.
Yeah, because that's the point of a doll.
Except for Nick Jonas.
Yeah. I'd run your gauntlet. Wow, right over the...
Whoa!
Right over the head of the kids.
Wait.
Right into my ear hole. How many Ugly Dolls you giving it out of 5?
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
All right, so we're consistent on this one.
Yeah,
I originally was going to give it a 4, but the more I think about it, it's one of those where like, and this is the thing that goes into grading with me is I don't want, it's like I said to you before the podcast.
Yeah.
Where it's like middle school band.
Yeah.
That is how it's supposed to be graded. Like, okay, you are going up against yourself, but at the same time, you've got to set a standard with how we do these, where it's like, if I gave How to Train Your Dragon a 4, like, okay, that is my standard for a 4.
Yeah, exactly.
And did this live up to it? Not that, hey, this was better than that. Well, technically it was, but
the music,
you know what I mean?
if it would have helped it more, if like maybe more of a storyline was there.
That's the main thing that's making it 3.5 to me is the music.
I mean, the story I said in the theater,
a bare story.
I mean, I said in the theater after the third time we see Gibberish Cat, it got a 5.
Yeah, it got a 5. Ain't that right there, Gibberish Cat? But I mean, like, yeah, it was, the music was good. The story wasn't bad. It was just kind of bare. But it's like, it's one of those movies where it's like, it could have been better, but I don't think it's one of those where it's like, oh man, the story really
something like it
down.
Could have been better, but I'd really have to sit down and think about how.
Exactly. Mainly, like I said, the main crux of this film was, I'm gonna say, marketing.
Yeah,
marketing followed by casting, followed by endgame.
Followed by timing.
Yeah.
You came out at a bad time. But then again, I mean, who would have thought? Because no other...
And that's the thing.
Even
I would
Infinity
love
War...
to ask a producer or
here's the thing
Entertainment.
Here's the thing I started thinking about is when we start bringing it up, it's like, well, even Infinity Wars didn't like have bouncing down the aisle, the hallway of like almost every theater.
Yeah.
Second weekend.
Yeah. No,
and it's like
Endgame we came out and it was literally like 5 theaters still had Endgame.
But I'm talking about like even first weekend, like almost every theater was Endgame, except for, okay, we got to throw the other movies coming out this weekend into others, which if someone came out during the weekend of Endgame, I am sorry for you.
Let's see.
Yeah, but I'll keep going on with what I was thinking about anyways. Is that I wonder if they thought about it. Well, no, they couldn't have thought about it. It's like maybe they saw that like almost every theater was bouncing down the hallways of Endgame, almost every theater possible open, and they thought, oh shit, our movie's coming out next weekend. We kind of picked the shit weekend to do this.
So let's see, Cinema Blend. Let's see, January, February, March, April. So the only one they have on here for that weekend is Endgame.
Okay, so maybe
that can't be right.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe everyone's like,
everyone went Audi 5000, bro. You can have this one all to yourself.
You can have this weekend, which is, I have a feeling that's possible. Almost everyone, if you were smart, you have stepped away from the weekend of Endgame.
I mean,
to put your movie out. Well, I mean, come on. How many people have been following it for 11 years? How many casuals like to go see those movies?
Let's see. Box office, April 25th. Let's see if I can pull that up. Boom. Thank you, Box Office Mojo. No, that's not what I wanted, though. It gave me this weekend. I don't want this weekend. I want
every other weekend but.
I thought The Curse of La
Llorona. Llorona.
I thought that
Double L
came
is a
out
Y.
the same weekend as Endgame.
Maybe it did. I thought it was... Was it last weekend or this weekend?
There we go. Here we go. I got it. So the 25th through the 28th. And now they're in the process of updating their site. Thank you. Let's see. La Llorona. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to find it. So someone else will have to find it. Unless, real quickly here, because this is what you guys come to see me typing on my tablet. Wiki movie releases. Wikipedia's got to have us covered, right? Haha, 2019 in film. Thank you, Wikipedia. Wow. So the highest grossing films of 2019 right now, 2.1 billion right now worldwide is Avengers Endgame. So I'm pretty sure it's passing Avatar, basically. And then number 2 at 1.1 billion, Captain Marvel. So now they have the number 1 and number 2 highest grossing films. Let's see. Come down here. January, March, April. There we go. Yeah, no. The only one that Wikipedia has for that date, Avengers Endgame.
I'm pretty sure everyone just Audi 5000.
Yeah, you're right.
For that
Like,
weekend.
The Curse of La Llorona was the 19th. Breakthrough was the 17th. And then after that, so this weekend was Intruder, Longshot, Ugly Dolls, and then on Netflix was Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. And the next weekend is going to be where we see, like, how is Detective Pikachu going to do? How is The Hustle going to do? Tolkien also comes out next week that I forgot about. I was like, holy shit. That was a movie we said we really wanted to see. Also, there's an STX Entertainment film coming out next week as well. Palms.
Oh, yeah.
The one with the grandma cheerleaders. So that one's going to be coming out as well. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think. First off, if you didn't see Ugly Dolls, I want your opinion mainly on the casting thing that we talked about. And this goes for anyone, was that the big problem of this? Did we spend too much time harping on that for this movie? Also, if you saw it, let us know what you guys think down below. Who's your show stealer? What rating would you give it? All that jazz. Make sure to check us out on patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. That's how you help support MVP. Help us get a new studio sooner rather than later. You can also help us out by going to iTunes to give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating. It really means the world to us, helps us get in the ears of more people. I want to thank you guys for watching this review on YouTube. I want to thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.